Long ago, in a faraway kingdom nestled between emerald mountains and rivers that shimmered like silver threads, there lived a young prince named Arin. Prince Arin was known across the lands not for his immense wealth or his royal power, but for something far more precious: his smile. It was said that when Prince Arin smiled, even the saddest hearts felt a flicker of light. Flowers seemed to bloom with more vibrant colors, and children would instantly forget their tears, their faces breaking into laughter. His people adored him, for his smile carried a sense of hope, a promise of better days. But inside the grand stone walls of the royal palace, not everyone shared this sentiment. The king, his father, had grown old and weary, his brow permanently furrowed with worry. "A smile cannot rule a kingdom, Arin," he would often say, his voice heavy with disappointment. He desperately wanted his son to learn the intricate ways of politics, the harsh realities of war, and the shrewd tactics of trade, not the simple art of kindness and laughter. He believed strength, not warmth, was the foundation of a lasting legacy. One evening, the great hall of the palace was filled with merchants from distant exotic lands. They had come to display their most magnificent treasures, shimmering silks from the east, intoxicating perfumes from the sun-scorched desert, and jewels from the frozen north that glittered like trapped starlight. Amidst the opulent chaos, a man dressed in dark flowing robes stepped forward. His eyes were like burning coals, intense and unsettling. He bowed low before the king and spoke, his voice a low hum that cut through the chatter. "Your Majesty," he said, "I sell not jewels or silks, but joy itself." A ripple of laughter spread through the court. The idea was absurd. But the man in dark robes didn't flinch. His gaze shifted, landing directly on Prince Arin. He spoke again, his voice now soft, almost a whisper. "I can buy your smile, young prince." Arin frowned, a rare sight for those who knew him. "Buy my smile. How can one possibly sell a smile?" The man's lips curved into a faint, knowing smile of his own. "It is the light of your soul, Prince. In exchange, I can give you anything you desire. Gold beyond measure, wisdom that surpasses all other kings, or the unwavering love of every heart in this land." The court fell into a stunned silence. The king, his curiosity piqued and his skepticism high, spoke with a mocking tone. "Very well, let us see this so-called magic you speak of." But the man simply shook his head. "The deal cannot be made with you, Majesty. It must be made by the one who owns the smile." All eyes turned to Arin. He hesitated. His heart was kind, but his mind was young and easily swayed by the weight of his future responsibilities. A thought like a serpent coiled in his mind. "If I had all the gold and wisdom in the world, I could truly help my people. I could do more than just make them feel better for a moment." He looked at the mysterious merchant and asked, his voice barely audible, "What will happen to me if I sell my smile?" The man's reply was swift and chilling. "You will never smile again." Your lips will not curl in joy, your eyes will not shine with laughter. You will live, you will speak, and you will rule, but the feeling of joy will no longer visit your heart. Arin took a long look at the faces of his people gathered outside the palace gates. He saw their tired eyes, their worn clothes, their hungry expressions. He thought to himself, if my smile can feed them, if it can build them a better life, then it is a price worth paying. And so, with a heavy heart but a resolute mind, the deal was made. The merchant handed him a small golden mirror that glowed with a faint, ethereal light. When you wish to see your smile again, look into this mirror, the man said, and then, like smoke caught in a breeze, he vanished into thin air. From that day forward, a profound change fell over the kingdom. The prince still spoke with kindness, but his face was a mask of cold indifference. He issued orders with impeccable logic and reason, but there was no warmth, no passion behind his words. He used his newfound wealth to build schools and hospitals, to fill the granaries and strengthen the kingdom's defenses. Yet, despite these improvements, the joy in the kingdom slowly began to fade, as if the sun itself had forgotten how to rise. Children no longer laughed as they played in the streets. The flowers in the royal gardens seemed dull and lifeless. The palace musicians, once famous for their cheerful tunes, found they could only play somber, melancholic melodies. The heart of the kingdom, midst Prince's smile, was gone. Years passed. Prince Arin became King Arin. His kingdom was rich, powerful, and secure, but it was also empty, a beautiful shell devoid of life. One night, as he sat alone in his lavish chambers, surrounded by piles of gold and draped in the finest silks, he caught his reflection in a large silver mirror. He saw only a pair of hollow, haunted eyes staring back at him. He whispered into the silence of the room, "I gave away my joy to give them comfort. Yet neither they nor I are truly happy." Then he remembered the merchant's mirror, the one that was supposed to show his smile. With hands that trembled, he retrieved the small golden mirror from a locked chest. As he opened it, he braced himself, but inside he saw a reflection not of himself, but of a young boy smiling radiantly under the warm sun, surrounded by a group of laughing villagers. The boy's eyes were filled with an unmistakable kindness, an innocent, unburdened light. It was his smile. It was alive, living somewhere else in the world. In that moment, Arin understood. The merchant hadn't destroyed his smile. He had simply given it a weight to someone who needed it. Determined to find it, Arin left his palace in the dead of night, disguised as a common traveler. He journeyed from village to village, across rivers and over mountains, searching for the face that held his lost joy. After months of weary travel, he arrived in a small, humble town by a winding river. There, playing with a group of other children, he saw a poor orphan boy. The boy's laughter echoed through the air like the sweetest music. And when he looked up, his face breaking into a wide, brilliant grin, Arin froze. The boy had his smile. It was the very same warmth, the same radiant light that had once shone from Arin's own face. Arin approached the boy gently, careful not to startle him. "Where did you get such a bright smile, little one?" he asked, his voice thick with emotion. The boy shrugged, his smile not wavering. "A strange man gave me this mirror a long time ago," he said, holding up a cracked golden mirror, the very same one. "He told me this smile belonged to someone who forgot what happiness meant. You must share it with others until he remembers." Tears, hot and unfamiliar, filled Arin's eyes for the first time in decades. He knelt before the boy, his royal pretense forgotten. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice cracking. "Thank you for keeping my smile alive." The boy just grinned and replied with the simple wisdom of a child. "Smiles don't belong to anyone, sir. They grow when you share them." At that moment, a sound escaped Arin's lips. It was small and shaky at first, then it grew into a full, uninhibited laugh, filled with years of pent-up joy. The curse was broken. The golden mirror in the boy's hand shimmered brightly, and the reflection of the smile seemed to merge back with Arin's own, returning to him brighter and more powerful than ever before. From that day on, King Arin ruled not just with wisdom, but with warmth. He taught his people that no amount of gold could ever buy what a true smile could offer, that real happiness can only be given away. And sometimes, when children laughed freely in his kingdom, the wind would seem to carry a whisper through the trees. The prince who sold his smile found it again by giving it away. Remember, happiness is a treasure that grows only when it is shared. Never trade your own smile. It may be the very light someone else needs to find their way through the dark. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe to the Old Stories Lamp for more heart-touching tales every week.